Welcome to Uncensored Crypto. My name is Michael Hearne. If you're here, you no doubt share my interest and curiosity about decentralized currency, the blockchain, and possibly my passion for a better future. You're about to discover the greatest disruptive force of our lifetime. Once you see the episode I'm about to share, all of your binge-watching instincts are going to go off in your head. Learning and discovery becomes an appetite, particularly for the smart and the curious. And if you're here, you're probably both. Whether this is your first dip of a toe into the water of decentralized technologies, or you have a fair amount of awareness and knowledge, I want to thank you for committing to this journey with me. As you're no doubt aware, the early adopters in every new industry are the ones who get the majority of the spoils. People who cannot adapt and adopt get the second wave or get washed out to sea. Ask me why the railroads didn't become the airline giants. They thought they were in the train business, not the transportation business. To be fair to you and me, we have to acknowledge that we're living through the formative moments of all this technology promises. And even if you know just a little bit, you know this: the world is about to change. Money in all its forms has already changed, as Bitcoin, Ethereum, and more are proving. Yet this change is much larger than currency. It's more monumental than Gutenberg's invention of the printing press. It will create more business change and efficiencies than personal computing did. It's guaranteed to make more impact on your personal existence in the world than the internet has, and it is our only hope of solving many of the problems we face as a society today, of reclaiming our natural rights, putting a stop to censorship, and stopping inflation. It's not big. It's not huge. It is literally a monumental shift in humanity in the way we will govern, provide security, wage war, and preserve peace. Even the rumblings you are hearing of the metaverse will be firmly built on the foundations you're about to explore. In our lifetime, we will solve world hunger, eradicate most diseases, and solve renewable clean energy. Those who do it will be the winners, not just financial winners, the moral and ethical winners, and the ones whom history will remember. Our Carnegies, our Vanderbilts, our Pasteurs, Armstrongs, and Martin Luther Kings to come are watching this right now. The future of mankind is in our audience right now. I firmly believe this. So where do you fit in? Let's find out, because after all, if this life is anything, it's a choose-your-own-adventure matrix. What will you choose to become? Who will you choose to become? Then once you decide, how will you earn a living? Or will earning a living be a thing of the past? These are huge questions for humanity. I'm excited you're here. We've spent the last decade building the trusted relationships that allowed me to bring this to life, and spent months on the road filming this epic journey that you're about to take with me. We've put together these interviews in a specific order. Don't skip a single one, because the knowledge ties together over the whole story that's about to be revealed. I guarantee every single person you're about to meet will have a new insight for you. They'll offer one or even a dozen thoughts and perspectives that you may need to process. They certainly did for me, and I thought I knew a thing or two going into this series. Enjoy this episode. It's going to get us on the same page together, and then I'll be back to check in with you in just a bit. Here we go. Welcome to Uncensored Crypto. Buckminster Fuller famously said, "You never change things by fighting the existing reality. To change something, build a new model that makes the existing model obsolete." In the fall of 2008, a new model was born that made the monetary system obsolete. Since then, this technology has expanded and evolved to make most of the systems we depend on today obsolete. It's only a matter of time till the old ways disappear completely. This is the history of man. The superior technology always wins, and today is no different.
Could you talk a little bit about where this idea of digital money came into your world?
Well, for me, it started with, I guess what you'd call play money. I'm a byproduct of the first generation of kids with computers and internet connections, as well as early video games and collectible card games. And so as a result of that, collecting, buying, selling, trading, and And when the first video games became networked, really in the late 90s, as we got graphical interfaces, you had Ultima Online, EverQuest, eventually World of Warcraft, Second Life. I was one of the first people to recognize that just because something was intangible didn't make it less valuable. And so I was the primary market maker for digital currency and digital goods in all of these virtual worlds or virtual nations. And we built up a supply chain of about 400,000 people, primarily in China, that would play or live in these virtual worlds and mine digital currency. We were PayPal's largest merchant for years, Google's largest advertiser for a little while in the early days. We were instrumental in the launch of Alipay, and so I became deeply familiar with cross-border payments.
What year did that come onto your radar?
It really wasn't until 2012 where it was like, okay, we're starting to achieve enough of a critical mass.
Yeah.
The momentum is building because it was clear that this were something like it was the future. The question is the future now or 10 years from now.
Right.
And it eventually reached a point for me where I'm like, okay, I have to stop everything that I'm doing and make this really my sole focus. And that's was in 2012.
So what kind of impacts did you foresee this having?
Well, I mean, philosophically, let's take it just a step back and what is happening here?
Yeah.
What is this technology doing? What is Bitcoin, bringing to the world? It's bringing accountability back in a world that is severely lacking in it. Bringing transparency, right, into a world that it has far too much opacity.
Yeah.
It's bringing democratization to tools or utility as well as opportunity. In a world where 4 to 4.5 billion people on the planet are on or underbanked.
Yeah.
Financial opportunity has historically really only been available to the elite.
Yeah.
And the idea that you're democratizing the tools as well as the opportunities, these are game-changing things that have the ability to change the world in a way that it makes it more fair.
Yeah.
Brings fairness. We are really at that point right now where probably within the next 12 months, whether people realize it or not, we're having that impact. I mean, take a look at what's going on in El Salvador right now. So President Bukele pushed forward a law to make Bitcoin legal tender or currency, which has a lot of big implications, and we can double click on that if you like. But the law was implemented, and they decided to enact it, fully implement it within 90 days from the law being passed. 90 days for a startup is aggressive.
Yeah.
For a government, it's unheard of. Talk about an entrepreneurial spirit.
Right.
And it got done. And it took a lot of people from around the world basically moving down there to assist the government in this rollout.
Yeah.
Within 30 days of Bitcoin Day happening on September 7th, within 30 days, a majority of the population had downloaded the Bitcoin wallet, the Chivo wallet, within 30 days. Within 90 days, over 70%. So talk about flipping the script.
Yeah.
30% of the population having financial tools within 90 days of the Bitcoin law taking effect, 70%. It completely turned the numbers upside down. And the issues of financial inclusion in the world, this isn't a new conversation.
Yeah.
This has been a conversation going on for a decade or two. But with all this time, no one has really been able to put a dent in it.
Yeah.
But Bitcoin did.
Yeah, in 60 days.
90 days. But 30 days to half the country, 90 days to more than 2/3, literally turning the numbers completely upside down on their head. And we're seeing other things. My friend Mayor Suarez in Miami obviously is doing big things there, saying to everyone in the United States, Miami embraces the future. Miami is not going to stay stuck in the 20th century. Miami is saying yes to the future, yes to the 21st century. He announced he's going to take his next paycheck in Bitcoin. And then the new mayor of New York City, the mayor-elect Eric Adams, within 24 hours said, I'm going to take my next 3 paychecks in Bitcoin. And the mayor of New York City making that statement, the capital of capital, that's a big deal. And others have now followed suit around the world. And so what we're seeing is a chain, a blockchain reaction, you know, kind of dominoes falling.
Yeah.
It's all happening, and so I think we're at that kind of tipping point, that inflection point, where we're going to see sort of mass adoption. The technology is getting to that point where it's almost scalable enough to meet the market needs. The usability or the interface is getting friendly enough. The storytellers, you know, are here and collecting the story to be able to deliver it in a clear, concise, simple enough way that, you know, that the masses can get involved. And so I'm, you know, as challenging as a time we live in, I'm very optimistic about our future.
In